Fellow Alabamians, it's with great pleasure that I come into your homes today. I have with me Mr. Lawrence H. Rogers, Executive Vice President, Taft Broadcasting Company, Cincinnati, Ohio, of which station WBRC-TV is an affiliate. We'd like to discuss very briefly an action of the Federal Communications Commission which could be very detrimental to a great number of you who are now enjoying good TV reception. I felt so strongly about this commission action that I've introduced a bill, H.R. 9267, which, if enacted, would eliminate the possibility of your losing the excellent TV reception which you're now getting. Now, Mr. Rogers, since you are an expert in this field, which has become an essential part of our way of life, I wonder if you could give us a statement as to the effect of the Commission's order.
Well, I thank you, Congressman Roberts, for that expert. I'm not sure I know what it is unless it's a fellow away from home. But I will try to make a brief statement about it. Essentially, the Commission's order would require the change of all the television stations in the United States from the low-numbered channels that they now operate on to very high-numbered channels in what's known as ultra-high frequency or UHF ranges, which would have the effect of reducing the effective coverage area of all of the television stations in the United States. As applied to Alabama, this would seriously restrict, perhaps to the extent of anywhere from 1/3 down to 1/5 the area covered by each of the VHF stations or low-number stations now on the air in Alabama. And the same, of course, being true throughout the United States, it would result in literally millions of television set owners throughout the country receiving no reception at all. The only remedy for this, which is presumed to be supplied by the Commission, would be the substitution of a service which would require that every set owner who now receives a VHF signal to buy an antenna, a booster, or other technical equipment to enable him to receive reception from new types of stations. The joker in this pack is the fact that even if you did equip yourself with this equipment, which would vary from $30 to $50 to $100 per home, in very many areas, there still would be no reception.
In other words, what you're saying is that the set owner, the consumer, would have to spend $30 or $40 or $50 to equip his set to receive the UHF signal, and he might not receive that signal even after he had gone to that expense.
That's exactly right. Theoretically, and this follows practically, the average VHF station will cover a radius of about 60 miles. The average UHF station will cover a radius of a little better, perhaps, than 30 miles. If you assume that everybody within that 30-mile circle would get good reception, this would be all right. But the trouble is the service is so inferior by comparison that many of the people within the 30-mile circle still wouldn't receive service.
Take the area which I have the honor to represent, the 4th District. I'm told by people who seem to know that the Montgomery area, which now serves 16 counties of the state of Alabama, would only serve one county. It now serves 15,000 square miles, and it would be cut to less than perhaps 1,000 square miles. My Anniston area, which is served by the Birmingham station, WBRC-TV, would lose reception in practically every county, beginning with Etowah, Calhoun, St. Clair, Talladega, Coosa, and Clay. And, of course, the lower counties in my area, Elmore and Autauga, would lose the reception which they now have from the Montgomery stations. So I think this is a very dangerous order of the Commission. and I'm very hopeful that the Congress will hold early hearings and give my bill approval.
This is substantially accurate, Congressman. The loss of service would be enormous. Now, there is a proposal that's part of the Commission's proposal to replace this service with new stations. And of course, over a long period of time, it's hoped that this would happen, so that in areas that lose service, they would pick it up again from a new television station built in that area. But this does not protect the public over the interim period between the loss of the present service and the addition of the new service.
And then it's true, too, that you destroy the goodwill and the hard work and the investment that people have built up in these stations over a number of years. And
as well as the investment of the public in their home receiver equipment.
In their own sets.
That's right. I wonder, Congressman Roberts, if you could outline briefly the contents of your bill, the general nature of it.
My bill is very simple. It simply freezes channels as they now exist, and it would require the manufacturers to place equipment on all new receivers capable of receiving both VHF and UHF signals.
This legislation is receiving an increasing amount of support in the Congress, from what I can gather in Washington this week.
Well, thank you, Mr. Rogers, and it's been a pleasure to be with you and to have you help me tell our Alabama people what's involved in this situation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.